Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Alvin here. If you're a returning subscriber, I welcome you. If you're a new subscriber, I also welcome you. And if you're a new viewer, hello. In this video, if you have seen my earlier video talking about silent layoffs, I thank you all for watching the video. That was something that I think is quite relevant in this day and age, with so many of you are very concerned with job security and all. But for that, I urge you all to once again, take heed that if you still have a job, just go about doing your job well. Don't quit. If you are okay with the job. If you're thinking of doing a side hustle, I will plan to do videos about that, going about how to even start doing a side hustle, that sort of thing, in my future plans of my videos. And the thing I'm talking about right now is layoffs is one of the things that is quite difficult to grasp in, why are you even laid off in the first place? And to continue that story about, the 5 people that was laid off in my wife's company. Her company was an MNC. It's a foreign company. Those 5, when they were laid off, as I mentioned, they weren't able to retrieve their belongings. And somehow, the HR, that orchestrated this layoff, this silent layoff for them, that was outright quite scary, to be very honest. They didn't even think of how, to give back the belongings of these individuals that were laid off. So I asked my wife how they even retrieved their belongings from, the company, which was at the office. They were actually told immediately to leave the office, leave the company, and get out of the building without even looking back, quite frankly. So then my wife told me that they had to call their colleagues to take the things. I was a bit of a shock, because at least for me, who was laid off back then in the day, I was able to take my things, take my belongings, and then just okay with it that I have to leave, with dignity. And somehow these 5 couldn't do it. So that was a shock. So I would urge you all, don't put so much feeling in your workplace, as literally your workplace, the place that you're working at. Don't put too much personal stuff there. It can go haywire in an instant. So I already told my wife to even downsize her things at there. She also got shocked, by it, and then she's already making plans to do it. Not that she is being laid off, but in the event it happens, these things can affect one's feeling. For me, I am indifferent, partly also, I'm already immune to it. Companies do that anyway. But this silent layoff is a bit drastic, which I don't really understand. And what's even worse than being laid off is if you're looking for a job. Right now, the job market is, even in my books, when I was looking for a job during the COVID period, it's quite baffling that it has changed so much, not for the better, that these companies are putting a lot of weird processes, I'll put it, to hire the right candidate. And it was also shown in like this Reddit post that this gentleman, that he's retrenched, he was laid off, and somehow in the 9 months that he's looking for a job, he had to go through PowerPoint presentations. If not, the opportunity wouldn't be there. And that was awfully weird for me, because I didn't know it will be such a thing. And yeah, it's so mind-boggling that companies will actually put the candidates that are not even hired, by the company at all, not even reimbursed, or paid to do such things, to ask them to go through a process of, doing a PowerPoint presentation, or doing some slide presentation, or doing some, work. I would deem it as work. It's just very, very, very. The more the thing about it, the more agitated you are. And I'm looking at it, is the fact that this gentleman says that is a due process, that because if he doesn't do it, he's in the marketing field, if I'm not wrong, that if he doesn't do it, he has to if the opportunity is not there. So that's one thing that it baffles me. And then look through the Reddit posts. There are a few instances that right now there are companies that are actively freezing the hires, that to even get anyone to hire, they will probably, if I'm okay, for me, I'm in retail. I can share my story of how I was, trying to be selected, to work, to get the job. And two, in fact, one was with, I can share the name because I'm going to be outright quite blatant and quite frankly, because of this gentleman's, ordeal that he had to go through. I was recalling that it was really absurd that Decathlon, which I was applying for a part-time role, I had to go through not just an interview process. They made us go through some activity with the other candidates to play some ball game. And that took, I remember quite clearly that Decathlon, the interview was in the early afternoon, like 1-2 p.m. And we ended, of course, not me having the role. We ended the whole thing with the interview process, with talking to, don't know who, one of the higher ups. And then, of course, another one was the ball game, I believe it was some process of, I don't think it's competition, like maybe being more hands-on with work. I really don't know. It was some ball game that we play in the indoor at Decathlon Chai Chi, and somehow that transpired to us playing with each other, and that took so long that we ended, and I remember I left Decathlon at about 6-7 p.m. I didn't really think too much of it because it was really near my house, quite frankly. But now looking at this gentleman who had to go through PowerPoint presentation, how many hours he had to put up with this just to get the job, and then had to do, a presentation for this, that means the company actually gave him a job and then he had to do a presentation just for a job, for this choosing, so to speak. And I'm the more I think about it, the more agitated I am now right now. Then, of course, there's the other hiring aspect of, let's say, you are going through a normal hiring process. I was actually headhunted for a retail position with a big running company. That one's not so bad. This one I was headhunted, and then I went through the normal interview process, talking to the HR people, talking to even the person that's in charge of the store that I was supposedly to be in. And this role was technically just a retail associate role as a full-time position. And somehow, after many ding-dongs with a few people, I had to go in and out of the company just to do the interviews. I think I went there like 3 or 4 times. And after like a few weeks later, I was told that the role went internally. That means someone was hired internally to take over that position. I mean, that was, during just after COVID, like when COVID was subsiding, and then I doing this as trying to find my feet on the ground to do it. And that's where I decided that, heck, I don't want to do any full-time work. I'd rather stick to my side incomes, which I was doing. I was doing my eBay business. I'm still, doing it right now. I can share with you, I like boxes of this, all these boxes that I've packed. Just only, it's something that, if on the side note, if you are doing side income, it's something that you have to do at any hours of the day that you have free time to. That's one thing I want to get at. On a side track note, if you are planning to do any side income, any side job, any side hustle, it's definitely somehow you have to do it at your own time, you're comfortable with, and then you have to put the time for it. Like now in this YouTube video that I'm doing right now, it's something that you have to put time in. And like I said, now it's already 10:42. So this gentleman, and then with the Reddit posts, I looked at it. Many have also come to their own experiences that it's the job market that's a bit odd right now. Hiring freezes are the thing. You want to get the job. They're taking ding dong years to months to tell you that whether you even get the job in the first place. And then you have to do this PowerPoint presentation, jump through a lot of hoops just to get you to do something for them. And then whether they willingly, look at you in the first place to get hired, or even if you're a candidate, regardless what it is. So this is just a rant for me that is very annoying right now. The hiring part of it is just odd. And then you have before they even go into the job market. That's another incident that I was trying to figure out how to express in the video. And this video is, quite frankly, a good one. Is interns. Internship right now is, I think, an all-time low. Many companies that are not hiring interns, I believe, because one of the posts did mention that companies are not hiring interns because they don't have the budget for it. The other thing is the interns themselves are quite go-getters. I was just asking my wife, when you intern for a company, usually if you are in a university, you intern for a company, you normally do one internship. One, right? I mean, you can comment down below how many internship you did, because I might be the one that's out of the loop. I might be the one that's a bit cuckoo that may not know the job market right now. But interns in Singapore, as with Channel Asia, because I was interviewed by MediaCorp about my foresight incomes and all that. The interns that they also interviewed for one of the videos that they did, the podcast that they did, and they did 4 or 5 internships. 4 to 5 internships. That's a lot of internship just for to buff their resume. I don't know. Is it even a thing? Is it even worthwhile to do it? I mean, you can comment down below. Is the job market really insane right now? I want to keep this video very, very short and sweet because it's just a follow-up to the video that I did. And I thank you all for watching. I'm going to stress this again. Before anything that has happened to you, do bear in mind what you're spending. Do budget, do save, do invest. Budget, look at your credit card statement, look at all your expenditures, see whether you can even cut any, see if you're doing fine. If you're doing fine, you shouldn't worry so much, even if you get laid off. And if you are laid off, and are job hunting, I will, in due future, talk about side hustling. For me, I'm doing 4 right now, and I'm all for the better. I'll be very frank with you. The detractors might think that because of what I'm doing, I'm not earning a lot. I put it to you, it's far from it. It's not as much as I would be, but I know that in due time it will scale. The scalability of YouTube, doing my eBay business, and of course there's trading. There's the jobs that right now. I'll be honest with you, I've got another job. That job is going to take a lot of time on me and I love packing. It's a fact. So you have to be mindful that what you are in this place, in this world, and then you go forth and conquer. When one door closes, another door will definitely open. It's when you are looking back at the same closed door, that's where your mind will wander. So just move forward with life. Life has to carry on, and in my opinion, carrying on with the abundance mindset makes more sense than having to dwell in the past. So I see you all, everyone. Take care and comment down below. Anything and everything. I will see you in the comment section and in my next video. Take care. Bye bye.